important part of the Hebrew diet and was baked regularly. Hence, the kneading trough was an essential item among the Israelites and other peoples of antiquity. The frogs that covered Egypt during the second blow brought upon it by Jehovah in Moses' day entered their homes and were even found in the kneading troughs. X8. 3. The Israelites, later leaving Egypt hurriedly, carried their flour dough before it was leavened, with their kneading troughs wrapped up in their mantles upon their shoulder. X12. 33, 34. Since the kneading trough was an important vessel in their home, having to do with the preparing of the daily bread, Jehovah's blessing upon it evidently signified an assured sufficiency of food in their home, while his curse upon it represented hunger. De 28. 1, 2, 5, 15, 17. Kneel. This joint in the leg is important for support of the body. Hence, wobbling or enfeebled knees portray weakness. And knocking knees, fear. Job 4. PS 109. 24. Issa 35. 3. Dar 5. 6. Hob 12. All except 300 of Gideon's 10,000 men bent down upon their knees to drink, apparently putting their faces down to the water. In this position they could not be alert, prepared in case of a surprise attack. They were more concerned with slaking their thirst than with the issue at hand. On the other hand, the 300 remained on their feet, picking up the water and lapping it out of their hands, alert, watchful, ready. The 9,700's negligent ones were therefore dismissed. JG 7. 3, 5-8. Figuratively, a child said to be born upon the knees of a person other than the mother, and thus enjoying that one's favor and care, was acknowledged as that person's child, or descendant, just as Bilhah's child was counted as Rachel's. GE 30. 3-6. Compare GE 50. 23. Jehovah promised restoration for his people and likened them to children of Zion, or Jerusalem, who would be fondled upon the knees, that is, well cared for, brought back into a favored state. Issa 66. 12-13. Kneeling. The Hebrew word for kneel barak possibly has the same root as the one for blessing, which may indicate that at least at times blessings were conferred upon persons while they knelt. While imploring favor, a person might kneel as an act of respect or to implore favor, as when a chief of 50 representing King Ahaziah knelt before Elijah to plead for his life and that of the men accompanying him. 2 Kai 1. 13, 14. It was on bended knee that a leper entreated Jesus to make him clean. Mr. 1. 40-42. Also 10. 17-22. During prayer. True worshippers often knelt when praying to God, this posture being a suitable indication of their humility. As 9. 5. O textoi acute miritra longo, knife 180 above every other name, so that in the name of Jesus every knee should bend of those in heaven and those on earth and those under the ground. All who gain life must bend their knees in worship to Jehovah in the name of Jesus Christ and acknowledge him as Lord to God's glory. This includes those under the ground, evidently showing that those resurrected from the grave also come under this requirement. PHP 2. 9-11. Job 5. 28, 29. F1. 9, 10. Primarily, recognition of Jehovah's supremacy and sovereignty is required of those desiring divine favor. Jehovah has declared, "By my own self I have sworn that to me every knee will bend down." Issa 45. 23. Row 14. 10-12. Appropriately, therefore, the psalmist fervently urged fellow Israelites, "O come in, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before Jehovah our Maker." PS 95. 6. See attitudes and gestures. Knife. A singly or double-edged cutting implement. Knives used in biblical lands in times past were made of stone, particularly of flint, copper, bronze, or iron. The Hebrew term marmidel.akleth, which literally refers to an instrument for eating, is also applied to large knives such as those employed in cutting up the carcasses of sacrificial animals. A slaughtering knife. Heb. Marmiddle.Akleth was the instrument faithful Abraham took in hand when about to sacrifice Isaac. GE 22. 6, 10, and the same type was used by a certain Levite to cut the body of his dead concubine into 12 pieces. JG 19. 29 also, Proverbs 30. 14 speaks of a generation whose teeth are swords and whose jawbones are slaughtering knives, thus employing the same Hebrew term as a figure of rapaciousness. Flint knives were made by Joshua for use in circumcising the sons of Israel at Gibeath-Ariloth. Jos 5. 2-4 Part of the Hebrew term designating these knives is cherev, generally rendered sword. Compare Jos 5. 2, ftn. The common Canaanite flint knife was about 15 centimeters 6 inches in length and had a raised center edge and a double edge. Scribes and secretaries of ancient times used the type of knife to sharpen their reed pens and to make erasures. Jeremiah 36. 23 tells of the use of a secretary's knife to tear apart a roll of a book prepared by Jeremiah.